Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. The booth is mobile tonight. We managed to find a parking spot here at Lindenwood University for CBC versus Chaminade. Very happy to be bringing you the game on the Cadet Student Network. My name is Tom Eichwald, and joining me tonight, Mr. Randy Molman.
Tom, you would be hard-pressed to find a better high school atmosphere than this game between these two schools in this arena.
And you would honestly be able, hard-pressed to find a high school contest that has the billing of this one. Of course, CBC Chaminade, the headline that's going to dominate is going to be Tatum versus Tatum, a potential for the last Tatum versus Tatum matchup.
That's right.
Again, there is a chance later on in the state quarterfinal should everything happen. But let's just talk a little bit at the start about the significance of the game. There is a reason that this gym is so full already, isn't there?
Lindenwood University, great venue. Both schools have a rabid following, and they're both good, let's be honest. Chaminade's undefeated in conference. They're nationally ranked, #1 in the state. CBC's 5-1 in conference, 15-7. They're playing great basketball. Division I talent all over the floor. Look at this. If you're watching it, you're going to be seeing it tonight. It is already standing room only. And two great schools, two great teams, and lots of Division I talent.
And you mentioned the Division I talent, of course. Both teams, Tatum going to Duke is going to dominate, but there's the talent doesn't stop there, does it?
No, Jason Tatum going to Duke, Tyler Cook for Chaminade going to Iowa, Mike Lewis going to Duquesne, Will Gladson going to Princeton, and then you've got CBC, of course, Jordan Barnes going to Indiana State, Christian Willis to Arkansas State, and, of course, Dwayne Clark to UMKC. I mean, you've got Division I players on the floor tonight that will log significant minutes.
Well, it's a college gym, and it's pretty much going to be a college game when you talk about the level of talent out there. Now, as we come into this game, we can't say it enough. The headline is just the talent on the floor. Let's talk about some of the keys to the game, about how to use that talent tonight against a given opponent. So first, for the Chaminade Red Devils, what can they do tonight to really get after CBC, especially early on?
It starts and runs through Jordan Barnes. You've watched enough CBC basketball, as have I. When Jordan Barnes is on a roll, when he's running, when he's pushing that offense up the floor and everything's going through him and he's shooting well, CBC's tough to beat. They're tough to hang with. So they're going to have to account for Jordan Barnes.
And then it's really going to be a matter, I would think, of your Christian Willis's, your Dwayne Clarks. And I think, to me, looking at this game, Dwayne Clark is going to be one of the keys. If you can match up your size against their size, then we've seen it over and over again. We've seen if Tatum can get forced outside. Now, what happens when Tyler Cook's introduced is a different story. When Tatum can get forced outside, he can be a little bit less effective. He can kind of drift to the periphery of the game. So if Dwayne Clark really can do the job and hold down the paint, could be a good night for CBC. Now, going over to the other side for Chaminade offensively, what should we expect from the Red Devils tonight?
Well, I think that Jason Tatum's going to get his points. So there is nothing and hardly anyone in the entire country that can guard Jason Tatum at the high school level. He's going to get his points. What CBC's going to have to do defensively, what Coach Tatum is going to do for CBC defensively will be interesting. You mentioned Dwayne Clark. How do they match up against Tyler Cook? And how do they keep Mike Lewis from getting hot at the perimeter? Because Mike Lewis is a great shooter. And if you've got Barnes controlling Lewis and Clark and others controlling Tyler Cook, CBC's got a shot, I think, to win this game.
Well, and you talk about some of the defensive substitutions that can come on for the Cadets. Lee Richmond, the first name that come to mind. He's long, he's quick, and he, to me at least, would seem to be an outstanding matchup with Mike Lewis out wide.
Yep, you've got guys like Christian Willis at 6'2", Lee Richmond at 6'1". Cale Catchings could be a key player tonight at 6'4". Buskey might log some minutes. Josh Wallace, the freshman, he's 6'5", and he's long, and he plays pretty good defense. CBC has the athletic ability to hang. Everyone assumes Chaminade's gonna win running away. You and I were talking pregame. They didn't run away from CBC in this last game they played, did they?
No, it was a 13-point differential. We brought you the game on CSN. Go back and watch it. It was a good one.
After this one, of course.
After this one, of course. If you have multiple devices, run them simultaneously, do a side-by-side comparison, that's fine. But in that game, Chaminade victorious by 13. The big story, though, CBC probably missing, I think we said on the air, probably about 10 free throws. So you figure you make your free throws, it's a completely different ball game. So definitely a more even matchup than I think we get credit for. Again, in that game, there was no Tyler Cook. We'll see what that introduces tonight.
That's right. Two great coaches, too. We're talking, we talk about the players, but Frank Bennett, a legendary coach here in St. Louis, great coach. Justin Tatum, how great has he been since coming to CBC? A great head coach here for the Cadets. So that's going to be the other thing is when you have these many athletes on the floor, it could come down to coaching, how they run defenses against these athletes on either side and who matches up against who. That's going to be very interesting.
And we are here on CSN preparing to throw to public address for our starting lineups. We will also pause during the national anthem. Due to our nation's copyright laws, we cannot play our nation's anthem here on CSN. So we are going to throw to public address for your starting lineups. And when we come back, we will have the Cadets and the Red Devils here on CSN. Thank you for joining us.
Varsity for tonight's basketball game between the CBC Cadets and the Chaminade Red Devils. At this time, we would like to begin with a prayer. After the prayer, we will have the national anthem and then player introductions. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Gracious and loving God, we come to you today with great thanks and praise. In a special way, we give thanks for the gifts and talents of the young men gathered today. We ask your blessings upon them and pray that you protect them and keep them free from injury. Please inspire the players, coaches, and those gathered to support Chaminade and CBC to be people of great sportsmanship and respect, knowing that we do all things to give you glory. We pray for the intercession of Mary in our lives and ask that you allow us to continue her mission of bringing Christ to the world. May the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit be glorified in all places through the Immaculate Virgin Mary. Amen. Thank you. And now, here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting team, the CBC Cadets. Starting at guard, number 4, Jordan Barnes. At guard, number 13, Christian Willis. Guard number 21, Sam Ford. Forward number 24, Caleb Ketching.
I want to welcome you back to the Tim Kylo broadcast booth here on CSN. We are getting set for CBC versus Chaminade. Tom Eichwald alongside Randy Molman bringing you this game. And as we look at the starting lineups, Randy, one thing that jumps out at you is just the sheer size of the Chaminade Red Devils.
Chaminade starting 3 players 6'9" or taller, while CBC's tallest player is 6'7". So there's no accounting for height. You just have to play aggressive team defense in this regard. And you hope CBC's defense can play well enough in terms of team defense to try to control at least 1 or 2 of these Chaminade Red Devils that are 6'9" or taller.
And tonight's tip brought to you by Mr. Tim Kylo, State Farm agent and CBC alum. And the opening tip is won by Jason Tatum. They're going to set it up. Here is Cook. And the ball working around Will Gladson. Back to Jason Tatum. And first points of the game are going to have to wait. But they still go to Jason Tatum. So number 22 gets 2. And we are off and running here.
Jason Tatum pulled down his own rebound, and that's the athletic ability that you can't really stop.
Nope. And here's Sam Orr for the Cadets. Dwayne Clark. And handing it off to Jordan Barnes, the guy you want in that area. Now Orff. Spins. Orff being pressured aggressively by Mike Lewis. Very, very talented player. And now Barnes. Gets a pick from Catchings. Gets caught a little bit on Reggie Crawford. No foul, though. And now Sam Orff again. He's got Dwayne Clark right there. And it is going to be...
It's like Gladson's going to get called for that blocking foul there on the sideline.
First foul on Will Gladson.
He had him pinned. I don't know that he really needed to foul him there on the sideline.
And Willis inbounds to Catchings. That's an idealistic pass perhaps into Willis. Almost worked. But Chaminade gets it, and they break to Mike Lewis. In the corners, Reggie Crawford rattles out. Good aggressive rebound from Christian Willis and finds Jordan Barnes.
And that's what they're going to need. Limit second chance points. CBC's going to really have to rebound.
Here's Barnes. That one rattles out. Cook can't get the rebound. Dwayne Clark comes up with it. He's going to have a lot of rebounds tonight. You saw the battle. It's 1-on-2 in there with Dwayne Clark. And Barnes' shot rattles off of Tyler Cook. And it's going to be cadet ball under the hoop.
Much like last night, CBC hosted Vianney. It was a slow start for both teams scoring points. It took them a while to get going, and it looks like it's the same here tonight.
That's a big atmosphere. You're still settling in. A little bit of nerves, a little bit of feeling out early in this game, so not terribly surprising there. Here's Willis. Good pick from Catchings. Willis 1-on-2. Sam Orff at the top. Can't get that one to go. We're seeing a lot of rim tonight. So far, the player of the game is wearing orange. And here is Mike Lewis, the second. Going to drive inside, cut back out for Gladson. And we're going to get a foul under the hoop called against Barnes. You got to contain Tatum some way. That's probably not the way to do it.
No, you don't want your best player fouling or guarding Jason Tatum. Jordan Barnes is CBC's best player, but you don't want him guarding Tatum.
5'11" is not generally an ideal matchup for 6'9". And here is Barnes. Again, still only 2 points in this one. That is what he can do. Doesn't get it to go, though. Hard collision between Willis and Catchings. And we're going to get an over them back. Willis took a shoulder right to the jaw from Catchings. He appears to be okay. He's shaking it off a little bit. Coach Tatum asking for maybe a moment to check on his player. He appears to be okay, though. That's good news for the CBC. Now Reggie Crawford inbounds to Tatum.
Yeah, the aggressiveness there to go after the loose ball. You don't want to injure your teammate, but they both had one thing in mind, and that's grab that loose ball.
And knowing Christian Willis, as we see the shot from Tatum doesn't go. Good rebound from Willis to Barnes. Rebound by committee. If Cale Catchings doesn't go for that ball, he's going to get chewed out by Willis. So
absolutely.
You got to go for it.
That might be Gladson's second foul, which would be a huge boost for CBC, getting the 6'10" player off the floor.
On the board, they're putting it at number 1, Reggie Crawford.
Crawford gets called with it.
So number 1, not the number 11, with his first foul. A lot of ones in that sentence. We apologize for that. Here is Willis. Again, Catchings on the pick. Willis shakes it off and lays it in. So we are tied at a thrilling 2 so far. Again, slow start to this one, but I wasn't anticipating it staying slow for long.
Not with these players on the floor. It's going to pick up quickly.
Here's Cook. His first shot. Again doesn't go, and again off the back of the rim. Good rebound from Catchings.
Once again, limiting Chaminade's second chance points. That's huge.
Or from the corner. Can't get that to go. Catchings with the rebound. He gets fouled. That's Tyler Cook with one early. You can see a little frustration from Tyler. Again, good play underneath from Cale Catchings. You said he was going to be involved, and he certainly has been early in this game.
He's going to be a key because of his jumping ability and his length to try and match up with the 6'9", 6'9", 6'10 trio of Chaminade.
And also his added strength. From last year to this year, he's not only gotten a little bit taller, a little bit longer, but he's also filled out. We keep saying that over and over again. It's really impressive when you add, you saw the talent as a freshman. Now he's got the body to match it. Misses the first one and converts on the second. You don't want to see the missed free throw plot replay here in this game. And now Gladson at the top. Finds Tatum. Major size mismatch there. Tatum being guarded by Sam Orff. That time Tyler Cook with the shot and Jordan Barnes with the rebound.
One of the matchups we thought might happen was Dwayne Clark on Tyler Cook. That's what happened there. And if they can limit Tyler Cook, if Dwayne Clark can have a good defensive game today, CBC's got a great chance.
And you mentioned it. It's all about discipline. You got to make sure that the right guys are in the right spot. Here's Catchings with the shot, and that one goes. So CBC up 5-2 early in this one.
Chaminade's not going to stay cold forever. You've got to convert and try to build this lead early.
Absolutely. You got to take your points where you can get it. Here is Gladson being guarded by Catchings. Now Cook wide open there, tries to spin. Again, you saw the discipline there. Dwayne Clark right where he needs to be, but who is it? Cale Catchings sliding in and covering.
Great rebound by Clark. Again, limiting the second chance points. We're going to talk about it all night.
And I think Catchings' feet a little surprisingly quick for Tyler Cook. He turned around, and there he was. Now on the offensive end, Sam Orff goes up for it, gets the and one, and Gladson with another foul. That is the second for Gladson.
The 6'10 Will Gladson, the Princeton commit, is now officially in foul trouble here in the first half. 2 fouls early, and we're only in the first quarter. He'll come out of the game now, and checking in is Jericho Helms.
So not the start Gladson envisioned. He'll take a break, settle down, and get back at it. Not too worried about him at this point, but something to keep an eye on. Here's Orff. That one goes.
Sam Orff has really improved his game as the year has gone on. He has gotten better and better as the season wears on.
And he works so hard. You see him in there in the gym early in the morning shooting around. It's really impressive the work ethic he has. And Tatum goes in, and we're going to get a foul here. Looks like Dwayne Clark.
Dwayne Clark gets called with the foul. And
his first, I believe.
That's his first, and it's going to be tough with Jason Tatum. Orff was guarding him, but, we could talk about any of these guys trying to guard Tatum. It's going to be nearly impossible.
Speaking purely physically, Clark is the only one who should have a chance. You can't see the air quotes here, but they're there.
Yeah, but that's the problem. When you talk about size, if Clark's guarding him, then who's guarding Tyler Cook? Who's guarding Will Gladson? So it's like we said at the top, Jason Tatum's going to get his. You got to limit the other guys.
It looks like Josh Wallace getting ready to come in for CBC. 6'5".
Wallace got the start last night versus Vianney as a freshman.
Player. And very tall, very long.
6'5". The athletic ability for the CBC, they might not be as big and tall as Chaminade, but they've got some athleticism for sure.
Absolutely. Here's Orff. Inside for Catchings. Catchings spins, gets the shot. Just like that, it's 10-4. CBC with a little bit of a lead.
So far, the player of the game for CBC, Cale Catchings, 5
Absolutely.
points.
On both ends. Tatum goes inside and puts it away.
That's just Division I top player in the country moves right there.
Not much of a way to defend that.
No.
The only way to defend that is to claim he pushed off. Here is Willis for 3. That one goes. CBC stepping on the gas here. I'm having trouble remembering that slow start at this point, Randy.
That's right. We talked about it early. They got off to a slow start, but that wasn't going to last forever.
Now here's Tatum. Tatum on Orff. Spins away, can't get it to go, and uncontested rebound by Willis. Uncontested rebound for CBC is unconscionable for Chaminade, given the amount of size and talent they have. You cannot allow CBC to get free rebounds. That is exactly where they should be killing him.
Absolutely.
Here's Clark. Goes in against 2, and we're going to get a foul here called.
Oh, and that might be Tyler Cook's second.
No, I can't tell if it was him. It was. You also had reaching in there Jericho Helms, who was a little guilty too. But Cook beat him to the foul.
That means Isaac Olson is going to check in, the senior forward for Chaminade. Wow, Tyler Cook with 2 fouls. Will Gladson with 2 fouls. This couldn't have started any better for CBC.
No, absolutely not. 2:05 to go in the first quarter here at Lindenwood University. You're watching Cadet Basketball on the Cadet Student Network. And Cadet fans, are you protected? Call State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim is more than just the best insurance guy in town. He's also the presenting sponsor of CSN. We are incredibly grateful for his support. Call Tim at 314-842-4442. You can also send him an email, tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com. Clark hits, and we're getting a substitution as Clark makes way for Josh Wallace. Again, 2:05 remaining in the first quarter.
Free throws will end up being a big deal as well. You talked about the last time these two played, CBC missed 10 free throws and lost by 13.
Couple substitutions. Isaac Olson, Marin Varuchnic. And it is Varuchnic who takes a shot. Doesn't go, though.
Second chance points there for Carrington Davis for Chaminade. Puts it back.
There it is. Barnes going the other way. Long outlet pass to Willis. 1:42 to go. Now Barnes slowing things down. Gets a pick from Catchings and a good one. And now Willis. Cadets moving it well around the outside. Not much on the inside at this point. Josh Wallace, Lee Richmond into the game as well for the Cadets. Should mention that. And here is Willis taking his time. 1:18 to go on the clock. Orders being barked from Coach Tatum.
You definitely don't want to rush the offense. You don't want to take bad shots, especially in this game, and especially when 2 of their biggest players are sitting on the bench.
Richmond goes up, and they're going to get him on a charge or something.
Offensive foul on Richmond. He charged in. That was a good take there from Chaminade. I think that was 33. Marin Varuchnic. Easy for me to say.
Hopefully the Varuchnic family is listening. We apologize. And here is Marin Varuchnic. And over on the near side is Carrington Davis inside to Tatum. Tatum being guarded by Lee Richmond. We talked about him needing to be big defensively. And all he gets there is a foul. And we talk about how skilled Jason Tatum is. He is also extremely physical. Guarding him hurts. You watch him in there, the push-offs, little elbows you get away with. He does it well. He's smart about it. But he's going to make you pay if you get in tight on him.
Lee Richmond's second foul after the charge he just had a few minutes ago.
Not what you want from one of your stellar defensive players.
Dwayne Clark looking to check back in for the Cadets.
And the free throw antics from CBC fans might have worked on that one as Tatum rattles it out. Making his way into the building, A.J. Palazzolo. I see him up there sneaking around the back of the student section. Just named the State Soccer Player of the Year for Missouri by Gatorade. Congratulations to A.J. His trophy case is getting a little bit bigger.
That's what I understand. Patrick Walsh was in studio with me last night talking about that and how much hardware that young man has already.
Oh, it's impressive. He is so good. Speaking of people who are good, here's Cale Catchings. Leaving it for, this is Josh Nunn in the game. And Nunn for Willis as the clock ticks below 20 now. CBC 14-9 here at nearing the end of the first quarter. And CBC looking for last shot. Dwayne Clark goes up for it and he gets it. Dunks it right in the face of Carrington Davis. And 3 seconds left. Tatum trying to rally at the other end. Gets a shot off, rattles out. And good first quarter for CBC. Wow.
How about that? 16-9. Will Gladson and Tyler Cook both on the bench with 2 fouls. This could not have gone better for the CBC Cadets in the first quarter.
We're going to take a quick break to let you hear from one of our sponsors. When we come back, we'll have more cadet basketball for you right here on CSN.
Let me help you protect what matters most and prepare for your retirement. I want to help everyone in the CBC family save money and stay protected. I've been in the business for 25 years. My team and I are ready to help you protect your family and save money. You can contact me at 314-842-4442. My email address is tim@timkylo.com, or my website is timkylo.com. Enjoy the rest of the game. Let me help you protect what matters
We are
most.
back live at Highland Arena here on the campus of Lindenwood University. My name is Randy Molman, Tom Eichwald alongside. First quarter came to an end, Tom, and wow, 16-9 CBC. How about that for a start?
Now, this is a CBC team capable of explosions. And we saw it last night against Vianney in that third quarter. Very, very close game. 1-point game at half, thanks to the three from Davis Oftenbrink. And they exploded in the first quarter, or in the third quarter. We saw a little bit of an explosion here in the first quarter. It's going to be up to CBC to sustain what they're doing right now.
And I always keep an eye on Jordan Barnes, because when they exploded in the third quarter, it was Barnes who was the catalyst, and he has yet to score, and CBC has a 7-point lead.
It was Barnes, but we're also seeing a lot of other players step up. We mentioned Cale Catchings. Dwayne Clark's doing a nice job. Christian Willis, kind of outstanding on the rebounds, especially in that first quarter.
Josh Nunn gets it into the front court. Barnes on the left wing being guarded by Crawford. He dribbles to the baseline now, kicks it out of the corner, cross court to Orff. Orff backpedals, grabs the ball with two hands, now dribbles and pulls it back out. CBC being patient on offense here with a 7-point lead. Orff drives into the lane underneath the Clark.
A lot of
and
contact
CBC,
in there, too.
How about that?
Good
Orff,
strength from Dwayne.
a good start for Sam Orff tonight.
We talked about the hard work and the talent. It's apparent. He's, over the season, taken more of a leadership role in this team.
This is Helms over to Crawford, down to Tatum on the right block. He kicks it underneath, and that's off the glass and no good. Rebound putback is good from Jericho Helms. His first 2 points of the night for the Red Devils.
And that time you saw a little bit of breakdown and discipline from CBC. You can talk about the stellar athletic play by Helms there, but the fact is they had two players in the paint to one CBC defensive player.
And Dwayne Clark had the ball go over him as he was trying to get that rebound. Clark now turns on the baseline, up and no good. Tatum grabs the rebound. A little strong from Clark, and here comes Tatum the other way with the left hand into the front court now, kicks it. Ooh, they're going to call a foul before the travel. He did go up and down with it, but he was fouled before that. Looks like they're going to get Sam Orff. That's Sam Orff's first and the team's fifth. 18-11 CBC. 6:46 to go until halftime. Tatum on the inbounds, kicks it out to number 12. That's Olsen, Isaac Olsen. Now over to Helms. Helms back to Tatum, being guarded by Sam Orff. Tatum to the elbow, spin move in the paint, up off the glass, no good. Rebound is bouncing around, goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Chaminade.
Looked like it went off of Jordan Barnes late. It's those scrappy moments, though. If that ball makes it past the first tier on the rebound of those tallest hands, it's been CBC's ball all night. That one just got away from it.
That's 2 trips in a row now. Chaminade gets extra chances off of a miss, and that's what we've been talking about here in this first half. Already a foul away from the ball, it looks like.
Is that Dwayne Clark? No.
They're going to get Orff again. Away from the ball, that's his second. Sam Orff gets the tough assignment, guarding the nation's top player.
Good luck, kid.
Yeah, that's right. Go get him. Cale Catchings checks back in now. Tatum will inbound underneath the CBC basket. Down 7 is Chaminade. Lewis kicks it over to Olsen in the corner for Crawford. The left-handed three, no good. And Cale Catchings grabs the rebound, and he's fouled by Isaac Olsen. Great athletic rebound there from Cale Catchings.
We talk about the strength and the height, also the awareness. We've seen Cale Catchings very aware of his surroundings. We've seen him reacting quickly, anticipating. For such a young player, that's not common. And we could be looking at one of the top players in the area for the next several years.
Josh Nunn brings the ball into the front court. That's Tom Eichwald. I'm Randy Molman, bringing you all the action here on the Cadet Student Network here tonight. CBC Chaminade from Lindenwood. Willis drives into the lane, kicks it out to Catchings. 14-footer, no good, and pulled down by Olsen, and here comes Chaminade the other way. This is Lewis. Spin move inside the elbow. Tried to get it up and under, but he's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
You're not allowed to do that.
Mike Lewis, an athletic move to the hoop.
And they're starting to target, looks like Dwayne Clark a little bit. Get in there, force him to foul you. See if you can get their biggest man in foul trouble.
Yep, that's Clark's second. You don't want him getting in foul trouble. This is Lewis, who is a sharp shooter at the line.
If Clark can control himself here and make sure he stays out of foul trouble, he can be a huge part of this game. If he does get in foul trouble, though, you're going to start to see him get a little tentative. And when you got your lone big man, really, by Chaminade standards, in foul trouble early and being a little tentative, it's license to kill for Chaminade.
two of the players that we talked about pregame that CBC really is going to be focused on controlling, Mike Lewis and Tyler Cook. Mike Lewis now has 2 points, both from the free throw line. Tyler Cook has 0 points.
Yeah, Mike Lewis, one of the best shooters you'll find anywhere. He is really, really fun to watch. So far, he's had a bit of a quiet night, but you don't anticipate that lasting the entire night. He doesn't need a whole lot of chances. He stays sharp.
5:54 to play until halftime, and there's some discussion going on at the scorer's table. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Folks, I can tell you, and Tom, I don't know if you're the same way, I'm a carnivore. I like to eat my meat. I like the meat. And I like to go to Kenrick's Meats and Catering because it's the best place in town for steaks, roasts, burgers, brats, deli trays. Don't take my word for it. Check them out at South County on Weber Road. See for yourself. Joe the Butcher and his crew are always slicing up something special for the meat eaters with big appetites, and that's me for sure.
I would second that, Randy.
Kenrick's Meats, and we're about a month away before we start grilling.
I've already started grilling.
Have you?
Yeah, you don't have to wait.
Do you know next week
all you do is stand closer to the grill?
It keeps you warm. Barnes and Catchings not on the same page there. Catchings was driving to the basket, and Barnes tried to give him a pass. They are escorting a fan out of the stadium right now. I'm not 100% sure why, but we won't go into that. It is 5:39 to play. A timeout called by CBC. And we were just talking about grilling. You know, it's a week from now. It's going to be 60 degrees. You might as well go to Kenrick's Meats and Catering. Get some meat, throw it on the grill next weekend.
Break out the flip-flops. Maybe not exactly. But. And with 5:39 to go here in the quarter, we talked about CBC really exploding there in the first quarter and needing to maintain. They have not. They have been stagnant so far in the second quarter just a little bit. Chaminade has been at the front foot, just nibbling away at them, and currently a 5-point lead for the Cadets.
CBC 18, Chaminade 13.
Could be a crucial 5 minutes here.
Absolutely. Dwayne Clark is on the bench with 2 fouls. Tyler Cook is back in the game, and he has 2 fouls for Chaminade. Cook has it now between the circles. He gets it over to Lewis. Lewis, deep left wing, being guarded by Nunn. Now pulls up straight away 3, and he nails it. We talked about Mike Lewis, sharp shooter, fall away 3, and it's 18-16, just like that.
You don't want him to get into a rhythm. You have to put a body into him.
7-2 run right now.
And maybe you throw somebody like Josh Nunn in against him just to put a body in him. If Josh Nunn gets a couple fouls, it's not as big a deal as if Sam Orff or Cale Catchings does.
Crawford the other way after the steal, and it's kicked out of bounds by Jericho Helms. He was wanting that ball up so he could lay it in, and Crawford gave it to him low. Big break there for CBC.
It was.
Here comes Nunn. He brings it into the front court, guarded by Lewis. Nunn, the youngster, takes over the point guard duties right now.
Yeah, Josh Nunn's been impressive this year.
Lewis will get called with the hand check, and CBC will go to they might not go to the line just yet. Well, it looks like they will. Shooting 1-1. That's the 7th team foul called on Chaminade.
And it'll be Nunn at the line.
Josh Nunn.
Free throws in this game.
Yeah, Josh Nunn, the junior, has put in some quality minutes, and it allows Jordan Barnes to not have to run the show for the entire game. He can play the off guard and he can play the shooting guard position. He doesn't have to play point because Nunn can handle the ball very well.
And I love this off the ball. Jordan Barnes just having a smiley conversation with Jason Tatum.
As I've heard before that Barnes and Tatum are tight. They've been tight for years. They play on the same AAU team, I believe. They play in the offseason together. They work out together. And it looks like
Cook and Willis as well.
I'm wondering why.
Reggie Crawford. There's a lot of friends out there.
There are. I'm wondering why Nunn is taking free throws here. It's 1-1. There might have been a technical
after
call.
The play, maybe.
Because there's an extra foul up on the board for CBC. And so they're going to let Nunn take his 1-1. And then what? I guess we'll see here in just a second.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. I was watching the friendly conversation at the other, and apparently something not so friendly was going on the other side of the court, but things being equal, it's 2016.
I think after the play, there might have been a technical called on CBC, as I feel like it looks like Tatum's going to be taking free throws here on the other end for Chaminade. He is.
Yeah, Coach Tatum was having a pretty good discussion with the official there.
So Jason Tatum will now go to the line, and he'll shoot 2 technical free throws, and he misses the first. Wow, he's missed 2 free throws. He's 3 for 5 here from the line. I would assume that's uncharacteristic of Jason Tatum.
I have a hunch he may be okay, Randy.
I don't think it's going to affect his status.
I think the young man will live.
6'9", one of the top players in the country, headed to Duke. Number 22. One of, you know, it depends on what ranking you look at. Some of the rankings say he's the best player in the country. Some say he's number 2. You know, out of thousands of basketball players, I don't think he's too worried about being 1 or number 2.
Nope.
Gets to go play for Coach K.
Especially when you're projected number 1 or 2 in the NBA draft in a couple years.
Exactly. Mike Lewis has the ball now for Chaminade. He dribbles into the front court, hands it off to number 4, Helms. Helms back to Lewis, and he shoots a deep 3. He misses long. Rebound by Helms, and he walked, shuffled his feet. Jericho Helms.
Yeah, CBC got caught going a little too hard at the glass. Everybody collapsed around the basket there. An easy rebound for Helms. Again, a lucky break for CBC.
I do love the Jericho Helms kid and play haircut.
Yep.
I do love it.
You got that? You got
Stylish.
the shorts hiked up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Those lower top white shoes, low socks.
I love it.
It's a distinctive look.
Barnes into the front court for CBC. 20-17 Cadets, second quarter action. Willis drives, kicks it back to Barnes. Barnes into the lane, goes up, and he's fouled hard by Helms. He goes down hard. That, of course, was unintentional. He was going after the ball, but, man, Jordan Barnes hit the floor hard. You could hear that all the way up here.
Fortunately, I don't think that was quite as bad as it looked. It certainly didn't look good. The CBC fans reminding Chaminade that it didn't look good.
So Barnes now goes to the line to shoot his free throws. First one is good. That's the first points tonight, by my count, for Jordan Barnes. He'll get off track here in
I don't know what to say
shortly.
about that.
I don't think he's, as this game has developed, he hasn't really taken a lot of shots. He's been dishing and getting his teammates involved.
Yeah,
he averages over 4 assists per game as well.
Yeah, certainly a player whose effectiveness is not necessarily measured in points scored. He does get his points, in those acrobatic lane drives that he's famous for, but you need him in there, and he's doing his job tonight even if the points aren't showing.
Tyler Cook's first points of the night. He lays it up and in off the glass, and that was too easy. 22-19 the score. CBC ahead, 3:51 to play until halftime. Barnes brings it into the front court, dribbles the ball between his legs, between the circles, drives into the lane, now stops, kicks it back to Richmond. Richmond to Willis. He'll pull it back out. And they'll start over. Willis calling the offense for the Cadets. Barnes moves over now. Willis being guarded by Tatum. He kicks it back to Barnes. Barnes from the right wing drives into the lane, goes up and under, almost. No good. The ball's kicked out to Cook, who grabs the rebound. Lewis the other way for the Red Devils, all the way down off the glass. No good. Rebound, no good. Tatum now no good. 3 straight shots, and CBC cannot continue to allow all of these second and third chance points.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication there. We're going to get a foul called against
31 for CBC. That's Wallace.
Going back to the other end with Barnes here. Went up. You saw good discipline from Chaminade. They held their ground. Nobody bit. They just stayed there, used their size, and there's only so much Jordan Barnes can do against 2 guys 6'9".
Tatum is 4 of 7 from the line here today. They get 5 of 8 for 9 points here in the first half. 2-point game. Cadets lead Chaminade. 3:12 and counting. Barnes to Richmond on the left wing. Richmond being guarded by Lewis. He drives to the top of the key, now pulls it back out. Looking for an outlet. Good defense there.
He's got some quick feet. I mean, we talk about his shooting, but wow.
Mike Lewis really guarding well. Here's Barnes. Takes it to the wing. Now dribbles down to the baseline in the corner. Pull it back out. Now spin move. He'll take the 18-footer, and it's good. Jordan Barnes.
Starting to warm up a little bit, Randy.
If he starts to warm up, that's good news for CBC. Tatum down low for Cook. Cook wasn't ready. Out of bounds.
Now this is a big opportunity for CBC. You get the points. You got your star going. Tyler Cook misses one down here. If you can go to the other end and put one away, you have an opportunity to really steal some momentum in this game. We get a substitution, unfortunately, slowing that for the Cadets, though.
Varuchnich checks back in for Chaminade, the 6'6" forward. The junior, he's back in the game. Barnes now will bring it up for CBC with a 4-point lead and a chance to really increase that lead before halftime, which would be huge for the Cadets. Richmond to Catchings, who's had a nice first half, to Barnes. Barnes to Buskey. Buskey's checked in for CBC. That ball's tipped away by Tatum. Good defensive play. Here comes Chaminade the other way. Davis into the lane. They're going to call an offensive foul.
Catchings had his feet set for about a second and a half. He was not moving. Excellent, smart defense from Cale Catchings.
Carrington Davis will get called with the charge.
Cale Catchings still your player of the game, Randy?
So far, put in some fantastic minutes, key rebounds, as well as some key baskets, and then he just now took the charge. What a huge play.
Could really use another one of those CBC explosions here in the next 2 minutes.
Barnes to the elbow, kicks it out to Willis, now to Richmond for three, off the rim, no good, and rebounded by Tyler Cook.
I will say one heck of a jump on that rebound from Christian Willis, though. Unlucky not to get a little bit of the ball.
Buskey had the steal, but he fouled Tyler Cook before he could, before the steal was counted for CBC.
And while we got a second, talking about players of the game and CBC uniforms, this guy I think had a few of them. CBC legend Larry Hughes has now opened D1 Basketball Academy, which is a program that offers grade school boys and girls a chance to develop basketball skills on the court and leadership skills they will use for the rest of their lives. If your son or daughter loves to play, check out Larry Hughes D1 Basketball Academy. You can look him up online at d1basketballstl.com.
Tyler Cook at the line. His second shot is good. He missed the first one. Tyler Cook headed to Iowa next year. Barnes to Catchings, who goes up strong, but the ball was tipped. Stolen there. Barnes brings it back. He'll pull it out.
We'll take the referee's word for it. If Lewis only got ball on that, that is unbelievable defense.
Barnes drives to the rim. Wow! The windmill with the left hand off the glass. Jordan Barnes.
That was cool. So that's what you needed for Jordan Barnes. Again, you get your star going, you get a little bit of momentum here right at the end of the quarter. Unfortunately, the foul taking a little bit of the steam out, but again, Barnes, such a huge player. We talked about regardless of when he's scoring the points, but when he does start scoring, it can be a little floodgate effect.
Buskey was charged with his second personal. Tatum makes the free throw. Tatum has already been to the line 9 times here in the first half. I think a big key, even though he's going to get his free throws, is to keep him out of the opportunity to get the three-point plays. He's already missed 3 free throws here tonight. Into the front court now for CBC. This is Christian Willis, guarded by Lewis.
Absolutely crucial minute here.
Catchings for Barnes. Drives the baseline, kicks it to Catchings, who's open. Into the lane, goes up, off the glass, no good. Tyler Cook pulls down the rebound. Here comes Chaminade the other way. Lewis kicks it back to Cook, who goes in for the left-handed jam.
That was the last thing CBC needed. We talked about the momentum, CBC trying to get a little bit of momentum. Well, that's where it ended up.
Catchings had Buskey streaking to the basket, and he didn't get it to him. CBC is now going to play for that last shot unless Christian Willis gets to the basket. He misses the shot. Lewis the other way. He tries to jam, and Jordan Barnes swats it out of bounds.
Boy, you don't see that very often, but Jordan Barnes getting up there and absolutely slamming.
Lewis and Barnes giving each other the eye. But Lewis will go to the line. Barnes swatted that thing away, and Barnes is now talking to the crowd a little bit.
So a little acknowledgement to somebody out there.
Barnes' second foul, but wow, did he swat Lewis.
Actually, I think that's his dad there. I think his dad just gave him a thumbs up.
Lewis makes the first free throw.
Of all the spectacular Jordan Barnes plays, that's not exactly
a block.
Vintage.
That's right.
That was cool.
So Lewis now back to the line. He'll shoot his second free throw. It's a tie game.
Yeah, chance to take the lead right here. I know it'd only be a 1-point lead, but you do not want to give away a lead right before halftime.
Inbound to Barnes. Barnes brings it up the floor, and there's going to be a call on number 33. That's Varuchnic. That'll be his first. Marin Varuchnic fouling Barnes And that was not a good foul with 30 seconds to play, 36.4 to play, to be exact.
Speaking of fouls, though, there is something good about that. Namely, it was not Tyler Cook. We saw him get those 2 fouls early, and he has controlled himself since then. He's managed to stay out of foul trouble. So far, a nice job by Tyler Cook of protecting himself out there.
Barnes' first free throw is good.
And the other player we talked about, Will Gladson, went out and has not come back in. We expect to see him figure a little more prominently in the second half.
The one thing we don't talk about that you as viewers are watching here tonight are 2 teams that not only play each other twice a year in the MCC, but in the off-season, AAU ball and working out in the off-season, they're always together. They play each other. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Coast to coast there for Jason Tatum. And he'll have a chance to complete the 3-point play. And if he starts to take over here, this is going to be tough for the Cadets.
It absolutely will be. And we've seen him, we talked at the beginning of the game and in the pregame, Randy, about what CBC needs to do, force him outside. If you can keep him around the periphery, if you can keep him around that 3-point arc, you can minimize his impact on the game. Once he starts getting penetration in there, it can be game over in a hurry.
8 of 11 from the line, 6 points from the field, 14 total for Jason Tatum, the area's leading scorer. CBC will play for the final shot here, and they need it here with 20 seconds to go. 30-28 Chaminade. A little momentum would be good here at the end of the half for the Cadets.
You got Barnes and Willis out there, probably your shooters.
Carrington Davis guarding Jordan Barnes. Barnes beats him off the dribble to the elbow, kicks
Davis,
it out.
hey,
There's
2 nights in a row.
Break.
Oh,
no good. And here's Lewis the other way from half court, and it is no good.
Had the distance right. I was thinking we had Davis often brink here. He did make a clutch 3-pointer right at the buzzer of the first half last night. Unfortunately, couldn't do it again. What a half it was.
What a half. It comes to a close with a 30-28 score. Your scorers for Chaminade, Jason Tatum with 14 to lead all scorers. Mike Lewis has 7 for the Red Devils. And for CBC, Jordan Barnes with 8 points as we head to halftime, and 5 for Dwayne Clark and 5 for Cale Catchings. Good minutes from Cale Catchings, Tom, here in the first half. And before we go to our halftime break, some thoughts about the second half. What do you think CBC has to do? I don't think they have to change much. I think it's been a pretty good, solid first half defensively and offensively for the Cadets.
I think so. I think it's just a matter of keeping your head. We saw in the first quarter, CBC defensively, everybody knew their job. They were blocking the lanes. They weren't allowing those passes that Chaminade was really comfortable with. We saw them get a little bit caught up in the game, a little bit caught up in the transitions, and they were out of those positions in that second quarter. So I think in the third quarter, view this as a fresh start. Yes, you're trailing by 2, but for all intents and purposes, it's 0-0. Go out there, be composed, make Chaminade beat you. Don't let them have lanes into the basket.
And Will Gladson will be back in the second half. He left with 3 minutes and 24 seconds in the first quarter with 2 fouls, and we hadn't seen him since. They're going to bring him out to start the second half. That's going to be tough again with that height for Chaminade, but CBC hanging around, had the lead most of the half, and hopefully they can continue that in the second.
We say that, but it was when Gladson was in there that CBC was in fact looking the best defensively. So I don't know if it was something about the matchups or, again, just being at the start of the game, everybody's extra sharp. But we say that Gladson can kill us with the size with him and Cook and Tatum. But that's when CBC were at their best, when all 3 of them were on the floor. So it should be an exciting third quarter.
The atmosphere is awesome. Lindenwood University here, Highland Arena, CBC Chaminade, a 2-point game. Division I players all over the floor. Tom Eichwald alongside. I'm Randy Molman. We'll be back with the third quarter, and Tom Eichwald will be bringing it to you after these messages.
I want to help everyone in the CBC family save money and stay protected. I've been in the business for 25 years. My team and I are ready to help you protect your family and save money. You can contact me at 314-842-4442. My email address is tim@timkylo.com, or my website is timkylo.com. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Kenrick's Meats and Catering is so much more than just St. Louis's best butcher shop. Visit them in South County at 4324 Weber Road to dine at the K Cafe, or give them a call to cater your next party. Joe the Butcher and the team at Kenrick's cater everything from corporate parties to family barbecues. Let them cook for you and your friends too. Formal sit-down meals, premium buffets, barbecues, and boxed lunches, they do it all at Kenrick's, and always at the best prices. The state champion football team at CBC loves sitting down to a Kenrick's meal, and so will your guests. Take the pressure out of your next party and let the team at Kenrick's take care of you. Give them a call at 314-631-2440 or visit them online at kenricks.com for more details on all that is offered at Kenricks Meats and Catering. Kenricks, we're your party people.
Come see us at Kenricks.
Hello, St. Louis. This is Larry Hughes. I would like to share with you how my passion of basketball landed me a 13-year career in the NBA. It took hard work, dedication, and determination. Using the same pattern, the D1 team and I have developed and designed a program to improve the basketball ability, IQ, aspirations, and commitment to personal success of all the youth in our program, collectively building confidence and character.
Let me help you protect what matters most and prepare for your retirement. I want to help everyone in the CBC family save money and stay protected. I've been in the business for 25 years. My team and I are ready to help you protect your family and save money. You can contact me at 314-842-4442. My email address is tim@timkylo.com, or my website is timkylo.com. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Kenricks Meats and Catering is so much more than just St. Louis's best butcher shop. Visit them in South County at 4324 Weber Road to dine at the K Cafe, or give them a call to cater your next party. Joe the Butcher and the team at Kenricks cater everything from corporate parties to family barbecues. Let them cook for you and your friends too. Formal sit-down meals, premium buffets, barbecues, and boxed lunches, they do it all at Kenricks, and always at the best prices. The state champion football team at CBC loves sitting down to a Kenricks meal, and so will your guests. Take the pressure out of your next party and let the team at Kenricks take care of you. Give them a call at 314-631-2440 or visit them online at kenricks.com for more details on all that is offered at Kenricks Meats and Catering. Kenricks, we're your party people.
Come see us at Kenricks.
Hello, St. Louis. This is Larry Hughes. I would like to share with you how my passion of basketball landed me a 13-year career in the NBA. It took hard work, dedication, and determination. Using the same pattern, the D1 team and I have developed and designed a program to improve the basketball ability, IQ, aspirations, and commitment to personal success of all the youth in our program, collectively building confidence and character.
Let me help you protect what matters most and prepare for your retirement. I want to help everyone in the CBC family save money and stay protected. I've been in the business for 25 years. My team and I are ready to help you protect your family and save money. You can contact me at 314-842-4442. My email address is tim@timkylo.com, or my website is timkylo.com. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Kenricks Meats and Catering is so much more than just St. Louis's best butcher shop. Visit them in South County at 4324 Weber Road to dine at the K Cafe, or give them a call to cater your next party. Joe the Butcher and the team at Kenricks cater everything from corporate parties to family barbecues. Let them cook for you and your friends too. Formal sit-down meals, premium buffets, barbecues, and boxed lunches, they do it all at Kenricks, and always at the best prices. The state champion football team at CBC loves sitting down to a Kenricks meal, and so will your guests. Take the pressure out of your next party and let the team at Kenricks take care of you. Give them a call at 314-631-2440 or visit them online at kenricks.com for more details on all that is offered at Kenricks Meats and Catering. Kenricks, we're your party people.
Come see us at Kenricks.
Let me help you protect what matters most and prepare for your retirement. I want to help everyone in the CBC family save money and stay protected. I've been in the business for 25 years. My team and I are ready to help you protect your family and save money. You can contact me at 314-842-4442. My email address is tim@timkylo.com, or my website is timkylo.com. Enjoy the rest of the game.
And welcome back to the Tim Kylo broadcast booth, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the first half. We know you will enjoy the second half. Tom Eichwald alongside Randy Molman bringing you CBC versus Chaminade as things stand. Chaminade 30, CBC 28. We got about a minute and 20 seconds to go before we start the third quarter. Before we start going forward in the second half, though, let's just do one more little bit of a wrap-up. I think the overall summary on the first half, Randy, is that it was a tale of two quarters. First quarter, CBC dominated, looked sharper. Second quarter, Chaminade really scrapped back into the game, took the lead. What was the difference?
Well, I'll put it this way. If this was a 4-round heavyweight title fight, CBC won round 1, Chaminade won round 2. The difference was, in that second quarter, Chaminade crashed the boards on the offensive end better than they did in the first quarter. A lot of second and third chance points, and that's how Chaminade took the lead here in the second half, or in the second quarter.
Now, what should we expect going forward into this third quarter from these teams?
I think CBC needs to get back to making sure they limit those second and third chances. Chaminade is too tall and too athletic to give more than one chance down the floor, and CBC needs to get Catchings involved like he was in the first quarter, and Jordan Barnes, when he takes over, that's when CBC goes on runs.
And as we get set to bring you third quarter action here on CSN, we do want to let you know CSN is a student-led broadcasting initiative. We have a number of students making the broadcast possible tonight. Kyle Hunt, and we also have Tim Berzino working the broadcast tonight. So I want to thank them for all their work. Also, as always, Mr. Randy Gardner. It is a good night to be a high school basketball fan, that is for sure.
This environment is incredible.
It is. It is. This is everything you want high school sports to be as Reggie Crawford gets us started here in the second quarter. We talked about Will Gladson returning. He is back out there again with 2 fouls in the first half. Sat the rest of the first half. And Tyler Cook dunks after the whistle. I guess they don't give fouls for that anymore.
No, CBC will get the call on Tatum. Yeah. The thing about Jason Tatum that is so hard, and by the way, that was called on Orff. That's Orff's third, and that's tough because Sam Orff had a good first quarter and then got in a little foul trouble, and now he's going to the bench.
And Lee Richmond on for him.
The thing about Tatum that is so hard to guard is that, and that's something that was missing in the first half. Will Gladson. But the thing that's hard to guard about Jason Tatum is his 2 steps to the basket are other people's 3 and 4 steps. He's so big, he's so athletic.
And here is Clark. Clark at the top of the key, passing it to Barnes on the baseline. Something seems backwards about that arrangement. And with 7:24 to go, it is now a 4-point lead to the Red Devils of Chaminade.
Be interesting to see how CBC handles the fact that Gladson's in the game. He's been out since early in the first quarter. CBC did play well while he was in there, but they haven't seen him for a while now, so we'll see how that size matches up.
And there's a lot of him to see, 6'10". Again, headed to Princeton next year, so that says a lot about it, not just his athletic ability. Here is Tatum. Beats 1, can't beat the second 2. And Mike Lewis, you do not want that. We saw him start to catch fire a little bit in the first half. That's going to be dangerous for CBC if he keeps hitting those.
CBC, this is a very important trip down the floor. It's now a 7-point lead for Chaminade.
Clark, Willis for Catchings, intercepted by Clark, and brace yourselves. And Clark puts it away, his second dunk of the night, one right before half and one shortly after. And CBC really needs to check this run right now. You cannot let Chaminade get away from you in the third quarter.
The Cadets now start the third quarter. Chaminade on a 7-0 run, and we saw the run at the end of the second quarter for Chaminade. They definitely have the momentum.
And right now this is Lee Richmond There's a little bit of a hop there, but I think they're going to get, looks like Lewis on the foul. It'll be CBC ball under the hoop.
Lewis' second foul.
But Dwayne Clark spent a lot of time up top right now. I think you really need him in the middle being big. That's your only chance on the rebound, really, against some of the players you're going against. Is there a reason he's out there?
I don't know, unless they want him to set screens for the guards. That's the only thing I can think of.
And here is Barnes. He gets a pick from Catchings, and he's going to find Willis. Willis one-on-one with Mike Lewis. Gets a little bit of space, passes to Richmond. Richmond back to Willis, inside to Clark. Kicks it out. No, he doesn't kick it out to Richmond. He had the shot there. Still got it. There it is. Good closing from Tatum. And now Willis in the corner. Poked out of bounds by Mike Lewis II, and it will be CBC's ball going back in. 5:49 to go.
Chaminade has turned up the defensive intensity. They did so at the end of the second quarter. They've started the third quarter the same way.
They're looking extremely quick and disciplined on defense. Here is Barnes from the corner. Doesn't go. Gladson with the rebound. Now Mike Lewis gets fouled. No, it's travel.
Wow.
That's a travel. Fortunate moment there for CBC. Jason Tatum was off and running toward that hoop.
I was about to tell you that was a great move by Lewis to let the ball go and take the foul, but it looks like he shuffled before he let that ball go.
Unfortunately, his hands are too good. He caught it too cleanly. And we're going to get Lee Richmond checking out of the game.
Orff back in with 3 fouls.
That is bold. And here is Barnes. One-on-one with Reggie Crawford. Goes to his left. Orff right there to take it off his hands. Pick from Catchings. And Orff can't get the shot off. Willis decides not to, being guarded by Tatum. And now Orff in the corner again. Cuts inside, tries to drive, and poked out by Lewis. Again, a good poke by Lewis. Jason Tatum, one hand behind the head, one hand dunking it. That is one way to do it. And we're going to get a timeout here called by Chaminade.
9-0 run to start the third quarter. But, folks, if you're watching the game and you're a fan of the Cadet Student Network, you definitely have heard us mention our friend, State Farm agent Tim Kylo. It's the Tim Kylo broadcast booth here at Lindenwood here tonight. He's a CBC grad. He takes care of us at the Cadet Student Network. And this winter, we're saying thanks to Tim on Twitter. You can find him on Twitter at Risk Agent, and then give him a follow. That's at Risk Agent. And by the way, tell him thank you.
Definitely grateful to Mr. Kylo for all of his support. And while you're on Twitter, give us a follow. At CBC CSN, you can send us your thoughts. We'd be happy to hear what you're thinking. We'd be happy to hear any shout-outs you want to send. So send us those tweets at CBC CSN and to Tim Kylo at Risk Agents.
And make sure you send at CBC CSN. Make sure you tell Tom and I how great we are.
That would be great.
We like to hear that.
That would be great.
We're very narcissistic that way.
And we want you to pick favorites. Anytime you get play-by-play announcers. This is the first time actually in the booth. I've obviously done a lot at CSN, so is Randy. First time in the booth together. This is kind of fun.
It is fun. We're having a good time, and it's a great atmosphere. 2 great teams, lots of great players. Now the Cadets need to get off the schneid here. Chaminade went into the first half, went into halftime with the momentum, and they carried it over to the third quarter. They're on a 9-0 run to start this third quarter. CBC's got to stop the bleeding.
And we're going to have some action here. Next break, I want to find out what Coach Tatum said in that team huddle there. So, Randy, let's try to figure out what he was saying.
He probably said, how about we score some points?
That would be a good start. And maybe stop the other team from scoring as many points.
Right. Stop them, and we score. How about that? There we go.
Clark goes up. Good strength from Dwayne Clark, and right there he's where he should be. His brief foray into guard play has seemingly been brought to an end. And he gets the N1, so a chance to pull within 8 if this one goes.
Big free throw here for Clark. Third foul on Tyler Cook, by the way.
And that one doesn't go. And going back the other way, here's Jason Tatum being guarded by Christian Willis.
I like that matchup.
And Lewis, man, he is good. You worry about all these big guys, and Mike Lewis just finds a half a yard.
We said it at the top. You knew Jason Tatum was going to get his points.
Clark inside against Gladson.
But you've got to contain Cook and Lewis.
And Cook out to Lewis. Gladson in the middle. Lewis takes it himself. And they are going to get Sam Orff for his 4th. Sam also appearing to pick up a little knock there. Kind of holding his groin, maybe stretch something, we're not sure. and he is going to get a break to stretch that, and also with 4 fouls, he's got to take a break. And Josh Nunn will be checking in after this first of 2.
Lewis has 13 points, 9 from the field, all on 3-pointers.
And he doesn't miss very often. We talked about him being one of the best shooters in the area, and he is showing it tonight.
5 for 5 from the line, 3 3-pointers, and this is the element that Chaminade kills you with, because you know you're going to get it from Tatum. They try to contain Tatum, but when you got a shooter like Lewis and another post player like Cook, that's how they start to dominate you.
And just like that, we got a 14-point lead for Chaminade. We talked about the first couple minutes of this third quarter being extremely crucial for both these teams. Chaminade has won those few minutes, and CBC in some big, big trouble right now. And Nunn will inbound this.
Unlike last night when CBC went on a huge run in the third quarter against Vianney, they're in a 14-2 funk here to start the third quarter.
Numbers we don't like to hear. Here is Jordan Barnes, one-on-one with Reggie Crawford. Barnes through the legs, leaves it for Christian Willis. Willis tries to drive, can't get it to go, and rebounded by Gladson. He has made an immediate impact on the rebounding, has Gladson. They've got Lewis on this near side wide open, nobody within 15 feet of Mike Lewis. Finally, Nunn takes him, but that leaves Crawford and Gladson open, and Gladson puts it away. So you've even got the big man making his outside jump shots.
6'10", hits the 3 from the right wing, 20 feet.
If Chaminade keeps playing like this, it is going to be a mountain to climb for CBC. Blindfolded, probably. And Barnes tries to cut inside. They're going to keep the ball, though. 3:44 to go here in this third quarter. Barnes will be inbounding under the basket. Barnes, Catchings, Willis, Clark, and Nunn, your cadets on the floor. Tatum, Crawford, Lewis, Gladson, and Cook, your Red Devils.
What you hope can happen is CBC starts to they keep driving to the basket, hopefully getting fouls, getting to the line.
And here is Willis. Catchings now. Must have heard you. Good interception from Lewis. And now Tatum one-on-one with Barnes, pushes off. And they're going to get and 1 for a foul on Cale Catchings. Impressive dunk from Tatum. Gets away with a push-off, I think is what CBC coaching staff is saying against Jordan Barnes.
That is absolutely correct. I was going to say that when you're big and you're that athletic and the referees can't keep up with you down the floor, you're going to miss push-offs like that. He definitely pushed off Barnes.
And that is his trademark push-off. I'll be interested to see if the D1 college officials at Duke are quite as lenient as these officials have been. And we've seen it over the years. That's his patented move. Here's Nunn now. And again, good quick feet on defense and quick hands, too, from Mike Lewis. I think both sets of fans were disappointed at the lack of an alley-oop there at this point. But we talked about Cale Catchings being the player of the game early on. I think Mike Lewis is starting to cement a claim. I really think we see what he's done on the defense. A couple of key blocks and just pokes as Barnes goes and gets it to go. And Mike Lewis has been the difference maker. And that's a silly one from Barnes. But Mike Lewis, I think, hard to overlook for player of the game. Tatum's had an impact, but you can't underestimate what he has done. And here is Tatum inside to Cook. Gladson up top. Cook goes himself and puts it away. Not much more Dwayne Clark can do about that one. Now Barnes. And just like that, the lead is 20 with 2:45 to go in the third quarter. This was not the game I thought we'd be calling at halftime or any moment.
I agree.
Clark gets it to go. Gladson inbounds to Tatum.
Good post move there from Dwayne Clark.
We're going to need a few more of those. Here is Clark. Again, push off. And that one does not go.
They were calling, the referee down here was saying that was a 3, and Tatum's foot was halfway over the line.
We'll state that without further comment. 2:10 to go, or 2:18, correction. Barnes gets it to go.
Here we go.
So 37-52 now. CBC trying to claw back into this game. The bench is getting a little bit more animated. They were really kind of flat there for a bit.
Jordan Barnes now up to 13 points, as he always does. He just, all of a sudden, he's in double figures.
And Lewis, that was halfway down, comes back out.
There's a rare miss from Lewis.
Yeah, that was a violent one, too. Oh, and Lewis gets the block again. At both ends of the floor, Mike Lewis has had a tremendous impact here. Here's Josh Nunn. He's going to go it. Leaves it out for Willis. Willis with the 3. And that one goes. That is good. Chaminade is going to take a timeout here just to try to kill what little momentum CBC has going. But don't look now. It's back to 12. CBC clawing back.
An 8-0 run. It was a 20-point lead for Chaminade. CBC with an 8-0 run, anchored by a couple of threes by Christian Willis and Jordan Barnes. And the Cadets, hey, they're right back in this thing. If they can cut it to single digits before the end of the third quarter, they got a shot.
And Randy, you know this well. There's that moment as a commentator when you look up at the score and you say what the score is, and then you realize that can't be right. It was 20 points just a minute ago, and now it's 8. Am I doing my math wrong? Did I just flaunt a?
No, you did your math correctly.
I don't have a calculator up here, folks. They don't give us one. But with 1 minute and 37 seconds to go, it is an 8-point game here.
The goal here for CBC, play tight defense, get it under 10 when you get to the fourth quarter, get some momentum built up as they have so far, 8-0 run, get into that fourth quarter at less than 10 points, and then see what happens.
Gladson's going to inbound this one, and in to take it is going to be Marin Vrucinic. And here is Marin Vrucinic. Being guarded well by Jordan Barnes. Inside for Cook. Cook against Josh Wallace. Misses the dunk, gets the rebound. Now that's when you know you're athletic. You go up for a dunk, you miss it, and you catch it and try to put it back up before your feet hit the ground. But they're going to get Tyler Cook on a foul.
They're going to call him on a technical, it looks like. A technical foul being maybe over the rim or hanging on the rim.
I think hanging on the rim. Maybe that's why he was able to.
That's his fourth.
Get the rebound before
That's
he hit the
huge.
Ground. That's not good for Chaminade. Welcome news for CBC. Barnes puts one away and pulls within 7.
Barnes 5 for 5 from the line, 14 points.
Correction, it's 11 at this point. Again, the score is changing too quickly to keep up with. And Barnes gets a second one to go. You need those to go in a game like this. Sam Orff and Davis often bring off their feet, as is Matt Buskey over there on that bench, trying to urge CBC back on. I do want to comment real quick. We talked about those technicals and the conversation Coach Tatum was having with the officials in the first half. Coach Tatum hasn't stood up again. So
he hasn't.
He must have been warned.
He's been very quiet.
He's been asked to sit, I think.
Barnes, that was an off-balance three-point attempt.
And Tatum is going to go. He's going to put it away, and Barnes is going to pick up another foul.
My question to you on that would be, why would Barnes take that foul? Tatum's clearly on his way to the basket.
Stop him.
No. And
I don't know.
That's his fourth. That's Barnes' fourth. And if he fouls out of this game, that's a tough road to climb for CBC.
And he's going to stay in the game at this point because he needs to. But
actually, they're saying it's his third on the scoreboard. I could have sworn that was his fourth foul.
We'll go with the scoreboard.
I'm going with the scoreboard.
The scoreboard.
I am going with that.
I like the scoreboard guy, my new best friend. But just to finish the point about Barnes, we saw him there flip the ball that was going back to the guy to inbound it. I think it was Gladson inbounding it. So a little bit of frustration setting in for Jordan Barnes. He's going to have to control himself. Whether it's 3 or 4, the point stands. Here's Josh Nunn. He's going to go to his left-hand side, gets a little bit of space on Vrucinic. And now Ketching's going to help him out up there. Like to see Ketchings get inside a little bit. And shot a little too long, and Gladson again.
That's a good shot from Ketchings. He was open.
It is. Just didn't go. Eventually, you just need those to go. Tatum's going to drive, and they're going to get him on a travel. That is the correct call. He can't believe it, but you could see he got a running start, bumped into Dwayne Clark, and then stopped. You can't do that.
You're not a Duke yet, big fella.
Nope.
Man, he's so fun to watch, though, isn't he? I mean, he is just so athletic and so long, and the athletic ability is just so unbelievable with this kid.
Watching Tatum, you know what he's going to do because you know what a basketball player should do, but he does it, and it's still cooler than you expected.
Absolutely.
And Willis kicks it out for Barnes. Barnes goes baseline. He's smothered by Gladson and Tatum. Somehow finds a pass back to Willis. Willis goes underneath, and that's a block by Helms and Gladson, tag team block. And Willis can't get the rebound from on the ground. Helms passes to Tatum. Tatum spins. He's going to go up, and he's going to draw the foul. Josh Nunn, this time the guilty cadet. And just like that, Jason Tatum has the ball under the hoop. 13-point lead right now with 4.1 seconds to go in the third quarter for CBC. Absolutely have to pull this back. You cannot let this lead open up again. And Tatum's going to do his best to make it happen, and he makes it at the buzzer.
He got away with another one. He got away with another forearm push. But within your game, if you can subtly make those moves happen, you're going to make it work every time.
So at the end of the third quarter, it is 57-42 in favor of the Red Devils. Tom Eichwald and Randy Molman, we will be right back. We're going to take a quick break, and we will have fourth quarter action for you here on CSN in just a few moments.
Let me help you protect what matters most and prepare for your retirement. I want to help everyone in the CBC family save money and stay protected. I've been in the business for 25 years. My team and I are ready to help you protect your family and save money. You can contact me at 314-842-4442. My email address is tim@timkylo.com, or my website is timkylo.com. Enjoy the rest of the game. Let me help you protect what matters most and prepare for your retirement. I want to help everyone in the CBC family save money and stay protected. I've been in the business for 25 years. My team and I are ready to help you protect your family and save money. You can contact me at 314-842-4442. My email address is tim@timkylo.com.
We're back live at Highland Arena on the campus of Lindenwood University. You're watching CBC basketball on the Cadet Student Network. We're headed to the fourth quarter, CBC and Chaminade. Chaminade leads 57-42 off of Jason Tatum so far with 25 points, Mike Lewis with 15. And the Chaminade Red Devils have imposed their will in the third quarter. A dominating performance. 27-14 was that third quarter score in favor of Chaminade, Tom.
Not pretty for the Cadets. In CBC, you could say they came out a little flat, but really it was two players that really got this game turned around. Yes, Tyler Cook had the dunk. Yes, he had a good block. But it was Mike Lewis doing the job defensively, getting the ball to Jason Tatum, and then Lewis also hitting on the offensive side. So those two players right now are a little more than CBC can handle. Once you factor in Gladson's rebounds, not a pretty quarter for CBC, but I'm not sure there was a whole lot more they could do about it. They just have to hope Chaminade's peaked.
That's Tom Eichwald. I'm Randy Molman, and Christian Willis drives into the lane, kicks it to Cale Catchings. He goes to the elbow. That ball stolen by Tatum. He tried to get it from Barnes. Barnes gets it back. Here comes CBC the other way, into the corner. Josh Nunn for three. It's short, and Will Gladson grabs the rebound for Chaminade. Lewis ahead to Tatum, and this ball's going down. Oh! He didn't have control of it, and he had to go back up, but he does get the basket.
And no up and down. He fortunately didn't have control over it. Otherwise, it would have been a travel.
That's right.
I think the CBC fans thought it was.
Jordan Barnes into the front court. He's being guarded by his friend, Jason Tatum. They've been friends for years. Play basketball together in summer leagues, AAU, and they're good friends.
Talking about post-game plans during the game. You can see them carrying on a conversation while they guard each other.
That's right. Barnes to Willis. Willis drives right side, down the lane, off the glass, and
it
good.
Goes.
Christian Willis.
I would like to see Christian Willis really go off in this fourth quarter. I think he's going to need to. You can say what you want about Barnes, but you need that physicality of Willis to balance him out.
Willis has 10 points. Gladson at the top, down to Cook. Cook, spin move, right hand, up and no good, but a foul will be called on Dwayne Clark of CBC, and that will be Clark's third.
Yeah, makes contact with the wrist, but again, not sure Dwayne Clark can do much differently. He's standing there with his hands straight up. That's exactly what he's taught to do, and he got a bit of wrist. A little bit of a bad break for Dwayne Clark there.
Tyler Cook to the free throw line. His first shot rainbows in. No good. Tyler Cook 1 for 3 from the free throw line. He has a total of 9 points here this evening. He's had a couple of nice dunks. He's also missed on a couple of dunks.
And got his own rebound on a missed dunk.
That helps the stats. Coach Bethany and I were laughing about that last night. When you can miss shots, get your own rebound, not only do you end up scoring points, you end up getting your own rebounds. Barnes into the front court, now being guarded by Reggie Crawford.
That's when you know you're good. You can play those little games in the middle of a game as Barnes gets it to go.
15-footer from Jordan Barnes. He now has 16 for CBC.
Yeah, 14 points. They're scoring points, CBC, but they're not gaining ground. They really need to step it up defensively and, frankly, just hope Chaminade starts missing a little.
60-46. Cook went up, but he'll get fouled. He was going up for that pass from Tatum. And we'll see who they call that on. It could have gone on any one of 3 CBC defenders around the ball there. They're going to get Catchings with it.
Well, we have a second. If you know a grade school student who might be a future cadet, please encourage him to pay us a visit and experience CBC for himself. Contact our admissions office at 314-985-6095 to schedule a tour of CBC or a shadow visit. Don't forget, 7th grade shadowing is now available, so please call Melissa Ryan 314-985-6095. Spend a day with us and experience what CBC is all about.
Tyler Cook makes the first free throw.
And while we're on the topic of admissions, exciting weeks coming up this summer. If you know a rising 6th, 7th, or 8th grade boy who's looking for an awesome summer experience, you'll want to check out our brand new Summer Academy. There's more than 40 camps and classes. There's something fun for every young man. Please check out the website, cbcsummeracademy.org, and have a great few weeks this summer experiencing what CBC is all about. That's cbcsummeracademy.org.
Buskey is checked in for the Cadets. Cale Catchings has the ball now on the left wing. He gives it to Richmond. Richmond to Catchings in the corner, guarded by Gladson. Into the lane, right-hand hook shot, no good. Foul called on Gladson. That'll be his third.
And Catchings is going to go to the line. At this point, every free throw is a must-make for the Cadets right now.
62-46 the score. Chaminade leads, 5:50 to play, fourth quarter. Catchings tonight is 1 for 2 from the line. He has 5 points. He hasn't scored since the first quarter.
And Clark and Willis look like they're getting set to come back on as that one rattles out. Yep. And Buskey and Nunn sacrificed.
Catchings now will try to make that second free throw. 62-46, Chaminade.
Well, maybe a Chaminade lead, but I don't think anybody's left this gym. It is still packed. A little bit warm in here.
It is warm, there's no doubt about that. The reason people don't leave, even if it's going to end up a blowout, is because you might miss some spectacular play.
Right.
Tatum, a fall-away jumper, no good.
Knowing full well that it will be 40 minutes before you leave the parking lot from the time you get in your car.
That's right. Tatum's going to get called with the foul. That's his first. And CBC will inbound. 15-point lead for the Red Devils. It was a 2-point halftime lead for Chaminade, and they dominated CBC in the third quarter, 27-14.
2-point halftime lead, but a couple minutes before halftime, CBC had the lead, so it could have very easily gone the other way. You look back to that Tyler Cook dunk, and then the block on Jordan Barnes as Jordan Barnes gets a three to go. But those two plays almost single-handedly turned this game around.
There's a technical foul called on the CBC bench, and someone's getting tossed, and it looks like it's going to be Justin Tatum. Justin Tatum's going to get tossed. He's technical. That's his second technical, and he is now thrown out of this one. And that's not good.
No, it isn't. And he's got to walk right past the Chaminade bench.
And you wonder if Tatum was yelling at the official for not calling a foul on Barnes as he was trying to set up for that three. Jason Tatum will now go to line. You know, I always find interesting the dynamic with his son playing on Chaminade. What is Jason thinking right now with his dad being ejected after that second technical?
I understand it's a difficult situation, but I think once that whistle blows,
it's all
basketball.
business.
And I think you talk about Jason Tatum. There is no more fluent a basketball player anywhere at this level you will see. He gets out there and it's like a fish swimming. I mean, it's nothing else. I don't think is quite there. We saw him handle all the pressure of the college coaches, the scouts, everybody there. We saw him handle all that perfectly, and I think, yes, it's unfortunate. He'll deal with it after the game, but right now he's playing basketball.
And he has now made 9 straight free throws. He's 13 of 16 from the line here tonight. Tatum into the corner for Lewis. Lewis dumps it down low to Cook. Cook kicks it out to Gladson, who shoots a 2. His foot was on the line. Tatum flies in with the rebound, up and over, no good. Ball bouncing around, and finally Jordan Barnes comes up with it for CBC. 14-point advantage for Chaminade.
And under 5 minutes now. CBC needs something to happen quick. Barnes.
Jordan Barnes with another three.
That helps.
That's his third three-pointer tonight, and that's 22 for Jordan Barnes. They're going to get a foul on CBC there. Looks like Lee Richmond may be called. We'll see. 22, yep, that's Lee Richmond. He gets called with the foul. That might be his 5th.
And Orff's going to come back on. He's got 4.
I was wrong before. They're saying 3 fouls. That can't be right.
Again, I like the guy.
I'll take their numbers. There's no doubt about that.
Our numbers are unofficial, folks. His are official.
That's right. 64-53 the score. That free throw is good. 65-53 now. Jason Tatum has now made 10 straight free throws, 14 of 17 from the line, and he's got 30 points for Chaminade. Make it 31.
Yeah. Definitely one heck of a game from Jason Tatum. But the supporting cast around him has really been outstanding tonight. Again, we talk about Mike Lewis, Reggie Crawford, Gladson getting the rebounds. It's been a team effort tonight, despite what the score sheet's going to say.
Really has. That ball is off of Jordan Barnes, and it goes out of bounds, and so Chaminade takes it on the turnover. Back into the game is Richmond. Richmond checks in for Sam Orff. Inbounded by Crawford, and here comes Mike Lewis into the front court, guarded by Jordan Barnes. They had a few words earlier after a hard foul by Barnes on Lewis. Lee Richmond with some good defense there on Tatum, but he does get called with the foul. And for Richmond, that's his fourth. So Tatum now goes back to the free throw line.
And Orff comes in. It looks like he's going to come back on for Richmond again. Again, swapping a guy with 4 fouls for a guy with 4 fouls kind of says about where you're at in this game.
That's the 19th free throw attempt for Jason Tatum. 16 of 19 from the line. He missed 3 of his first 5 and has not missed since. 68-53 the score, back to a 15-point advantage.
And now Willis matching up against Tatum at the other end.
Here's Willis. He's on the right wing now. Dribbles into the front court, into the lane. Right hand, no good. Dwayne Clark with the foul, but they're going to get a foul. Looks like it's going to be on Tyler Cook, and that might be Tyler Cook's 5th. We'll see if I'm right on this one. I've been wrong. There we go.
There it is.
There we go. 1 out of 3 isn't bad.
Math done right.
In baseball, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Tyler Cook fouls out, and he fouls out with 12 points tonight for Chaminade. Willis to the line. Trying to cut into this 15-point lead. First one is good.
That's 14 points. Every little bit helps.
This is Christian Willis' first trip to the free throw line tonight. Hard to believe.
It is, especially for as involved as he gets in everything that the game offers. It's surprising he hasn't been hacked at least once before.
So Christian Willis makes both free throws. It's 68-55. Mike Lewis was a key catalyst in that third quarter to get Chaminade the big lead. He hit 3 threes in that quarter.
I think the guy at the score table can do us a favor with the clock, too, in addition to the fouls.
add 10 minutes.
Maybe with the score, subtract a few points.
Tatum now.
But I think you've seen Chaminade hit a gear. You've seen Tatum hit a gear that nobody else on this floor has. And Lewis as well. Every time we keep talking about Tatum being the dominant player here, Mike Lewis sneaks up with a steal or with a 3.
That's his 4th 3-point basket for the Red Devils here tonight, 3 of which were in the second half. Jordan Barnes now dribbling. He's got Crawford guarding him, goes to the elbow, kicks to Richmond. Richmond, 15-footer, no good. Tatum grabs the rebound. It's a 71-55 game in favor of Chaminade, approaching 3 minutes to go. Tatum drives down the lane, up off the glass, and
how does that go in? How does that go in?
Count it for Tatum, and he'll go back to the free throw line.
And his strength, and at this point it's a clinic. This is why people aren't heading to the exits.
Yep.
But
you don't want to miss a play like that.
Now the question in my mind right now, Randy, and probably not a popular question, Chaminade's hit a very, very impressive gear here. And I think they have outplayed CBC, certainly in the second half. But CBC hasn't looked at their best. We haven't seen but glimpses of both these teams at their best going at each other. Is that a case of CBC just kind of not rising to the occasion, or is it a case of Chaminade just being better, or is it just circumstance?
I don't know. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think CBC has the athletes to hang. I don't think they have the experience that Chaminade has. They certainly don't have the height. But what they have are a lot of younger athletic players. They hung around with Chaminade for the entire first half, led most of the half. And there was really just a period probably of 10 minutes of basketball where Chaminade completely dominated. The end of the first half and the 8 minutes of the third quarter. After that, it's been a close game.
Yeah. And we could say the same about the first game between these two as well.
So that was Catchings who made the free throws for CBC. Chaminade now, this is Lewis. Out at the top of the key, pulls it back out. He'll get it to Tatum at the right wing. Tatum being guarded by Barnes. Beats him down to the baseline. Clark pins him. Tatum being double-teamed. Gets it to Gladson. Gladson now back to Tatum. Tatum will just go ahead and fire a three, and he nails it.
Why not?
Jason Tatum now with 39 for Chaminade. I have a feeling I know who might be our player of the game, Tom.
I think so.
Jordan Barnes feeds it down low now to Catchings at the elbow. Fade away off the front of the rim, no good. And here comes
who would rebound that
Jason
one?
Tatum.
Jason Tatum. Again, doing it on the defensive half as well.
Tatum pulls up, left wing, three-pointer off the rim, no good. Barnes tips it out to Clark, back to Barnes. Here comes CBC the other way. Willis, 2 minutes to go, drives to the left baseline. Floater, no good. Tatum fires it out to Lewis. Chaminade the other way. Lewis into the paint, one-handed floater with the right hand. It's good, and that's his first basket tonight. That was not a three-point basket. There's a three-point attempt for Willis, and that bounds out.
Lewis.
And we have a 23-point lead here for Chaminade. Tatum once again for three. Misses that one.
That was an NBA three and then some.
Sure was. Ball bounces out. Barnes takes it. He's being double-teamed now. Crawford is guarding him. Barnes fires the three. No good. That ball's tipped to Clark. Clark tried to get it to Richmond. Tipped away by number 12, Olsen. Here's Catchings, top of the key. He's going to drive down the lane with the right hand, and it's swatted away by Will Gladson, but they're going to get him with a foul. Looks like he got him a little bit with the body, even though he did get all ball on the swat.
Yeah, unfortunate for Gladson. It's good positioning, and just, again, contact happens. But looking at this game, and at a minute and 17 seconds with a 23-point lead, 22 now. It's looking like probably not going to be the night CBC was hoping for. You have to realize for CBC going forward, this is a learning experience. It never hurts to lose a game at the right time. This is the time to lose. You learn a lot more about yourself that way, and with all the big games coming up, could actually be a little bit of a springboard, a little bit of a jump start, you pick your cliche, for CBC going forward.
79-57 the score. 22-point advantage for Chaminade. It was a 2-point halftime lead for the Red Devils. And Chaminade is content to hold the ball and let that clock run down. It's a big lead here for Chaminade, and they are going to continue their dominance in the MCC. CBC will drop to 5-2 in the conference. Fans are starting to file out now. Yep. Under 30 seconds to go, trying to beat that traffic out of here.
Oh, it's going to be impressive traffic. You thought the game was impressive.
Tom, I'll see you later. I'm going to go beat the traffic.
Oh, come on now.
No. I would
Hey, start my car while you're out there. We'll warm up.
Under 15, Chaminade fans getting a little noisy.
And we go down below 10 seconds here. It's been a fun night of basketball, though. And again, not the night CBC was hoping for. Chaminade looked really, really good in the second half as the buzzer goes. But
Chaminade wins at 79-57, and Tom, the star of the game, let's just go ahead and give it 39 points for Jason Tatum.
That will generally get you player of the game. There's no other candidate. We talked about some of the other players who had an impact in this game, whether it was Lewis or Cook, Gladson, but, 39 points, that kind of says it all.
And it was a 10-minute window, 2 minutes to go until halftime, and then an 8-minute third quarter where Chaminade completely dominated CBC. That pretty much was the ball game. Other than that, the Cadets showed they can hang with a team like Chaminade.
They can, and I talked about learning from yourself, your mistakes, games where things don't go your way. There are also a lot of positives tonight. The positives I'm taking if I am Coach Tatum. Cale Catchings showed great discipline, great spirit, great rebound. Jordan Barnes again proves that he's able to step it up. Christian Willis also. Dwayne Clark shows that he fits into a system perfectly. When CBC was at their best, he was doing his job, absorbing some of the pressure, allowing some of those other players to do their job. So you take a lot of positives out of this game. Yes, there's a loss. Yes, the scoreline doesn't look pretty. But going forward, this can be a loss that CBC learns from. It can be a loss that CBC is kind of inspired by, and it can be a loss that sends CBC on to bigger and better things and gets their postseason started.
Jordan Barnes led all scorers for the Cadets with 22 as he got hot in the second half. And a good game from Jordan Barnes. The CBC Cadets, though, fall 79-57 to Chaminade. For all of the students who make this broadcast possible, working the equipment, working the cameras, working the board, for Randy Gardner, And for Tom Eichwald, Tom, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a pleasure,
We had a
Randy.
good time.
We'll shake hands even though they can't
That's
see
right.
that.
We're shaking hands, everyone. That's Tom Eichwald. I'm Randy Molman, and thank you for tuning in to the CBC Cadets broadcast here on the Cadet Student Network live from Highland Arena at Lindenwood University. The final score, Chaminade 79, CBC 57. So long, everybody.